How we doing? So we're back with another video, and this time we're going to be making some eyeballs. So let's get straight into it. So for these eyeballs, I'm just going to be using some little ping pong balls. These are possibly the cheapest ping pong balls I could find, that haven't got a logo branded on them, basically. So just get some nice cheap ones. Link will be in the description below as normal. The only thing with these is they've got quite a definitive seam line on them. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little bit of sandpaper and just smooth that out a little bit so it's less noticeable. So as before, just any sort of sandpaper. I've got 180 grit, but anything similar to this you can use. And I'm just going to very lightly go over that seam line. It doesn't matter that it leaves a little bit of a mark. Just getting rid of the raised edges. Once you've got, so in this case I'm going to be making 4. So I've got 4 balls with all the edges sanded. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just helps with the overall finish. So what we need to do is I've just printed out some eyeballs or some irises. All I'm going to do is just basically cut them out as best I can and stick them on the ping pong balls. So let's cut some of these out. So I've got my 4, the middle of the eyes cut out. These are probably about 1/2 inch sort of wide. You just sort of make them to the size that you want for your eyeball. But as you can see, because these are flat bits of paper and these are round balls, they don't sit on them quite perfectly. So what you can do is if you just put some slits in them around, it will help it conform to this shape a bit more. But also what I like to do is I don't like to see like a white line on the edge here. So I'm just going to get like a black pen and just go around them edges just to sort of hide them a bit more. So now that all 4 are outlined, I'm just going to go in with the scissors and create some little, very sort of tiny slits without cutting myself. It would just help it curl around the ping pong ball. And now that will sit a lot flatter. Hey, beautiful. Right, so what we need to do with these is we need to basically poke a hole in the ping pong ball so we can put it on a skewer so that once we've done the next step it can sit and dry. So I've just got a bit of polystyrene block. I'm just gonna stick that in there, it says, and then that will act as my holder. But first we need to poke a hole in this. So what I want is that crease line basically to be on the back so we can cover a lot of that with what we're going to add afterwards. So we want centers, that's there about there ish. See if that's going to go through. Yep. So there's a little hole in the bottom. Stick that in. Job's a good one. Placement doesn't matter too much. Just try not to push on it too much, otherwise you'll dent the ping pong ball. Now we've got all four ping pong balls on there, ready to stick these on. So how we're going to do that is I'm going to use some clear Gorilla Glue. The reason I'm using clear is I'll show you in a minute. So basically I need to take the top off that. Right, so what we want to do, it doesn't matter if you don't get this in the center. So you want a little, oh, that's too much, a little glob on the back of that. Stick it on, get it nice and stuck. That's fine, get that on there. If we don't get it directly in the center, as long as it's somewhere near. Let me see if I just wet these, if they're likely to stick down. Okay, so that's what you need to do first. You need to wet your finger and just basically wet the paper a little bit, because then it will conform to the shape. That one has not done. That's not what to do. Don't do that. Normally the glue will sort of moisten the paper enough so that it will sort of form to the shape, but that hasn't done. So this is what you can do if it doesn't want to go to the shape. Just wet it ever so slightly, and then it will form to the shape that you want. And then once you've done that, you can then get this and just slather it on, just basically creating that lens that you see over the top of an eye. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just basically to seal in that eye and give it a nice glossy sort of finish. As you can see, all the glue's dripping off, but that is fine as well. And now we've got to wait for that to dry. So as you can see, these are all dry now, and they've left a nice glossy finish on them. One of them we messed up, but we'll just ignore that. So what we want to do is I want to put some optic nerves on the back of these. So what I've gone and done is I've bought from the range, or you can get them from anywhere. They're just fake like flower things. I don't know what you'd call them. What are these? These are amaranthus, whatever that is. Yeah, they're just white. Like, to me, these look like optic nerves. Once I paint them up and bloody them up a bit, they'll look good. So what I want to do is I want to think about the sort of length that I want. Maybe that would be enough. That looks like a good enough amount to me. So I'm just going to cut that off. So I've got one there. And what I like about these is they're flexible. So they'll move around. You can put them where you want. So to get these in the back of, or to stick these in the back of the eyeballs, I'm going to use a bit of hot glue. So I'm just going to turn that on, let that warm up. So we'll take one of these. We'll take the red one. Why not? So because I've already put them holes in the back, that should just slide right in there. I might have to strip some of that off just to help it in. Let's just trim that a little bit. That's more like it. Okay, should go in a bit easier now. So we're just going to put that in. There we go. Right, that's in there enough where I'm happy with it. Some of these have come up, but that doesn't matter. So that will be basically our optic nerve. Doesn't look like much of an optic nerve at the minute, but it will do, I promise. So I'll get my airbrush set up. Right, so now we've got the airbrush set up. The only reason I'm going to paint this is because I don't want any of the white to come through. Now you can get these in like a pink or a red even, and if you get them in that, you don't really need to spray them. I mean, you could leave it white, but I'm just doing this for an extra layer. So I'm basically just going to spray it a bit. Just giving it a light dusting, nothing crazy. And that'll do. That'll just cover up most of the white. And that's it. So the colour I've used for that is red with 1 drop of black in it, just to darken it up a bit. Hot glue gun should be about ready. So what I'm going to do is just basically put some hot glue from the eye down here, just to sort of keep it all together. Try and get it where you can see it. Nothing crazy, just stringing it down just to connect it and hold it all together. Just so that it doesn't fall out. I mean, you can add these bits of glue just to give it a bit more depth in places, make it look a bit more bumpy. Without sticking it to the bottom. But once that's gone off, that's pretty solid. And the hot glue is still a little bit flexible, which is nice. And there you have an optic nerve on there. But what I like to do, to take it a step further, is I like to add some blood to it. Which, if you want to know how to make this blood, check out my previous video, because I'll show you on there how to make it. It's nice and cheap. It's made with just normal kids Elmer's glue. It's really simple to make, so check out the video if you want to see that. So all I'm going to do with this is, I could just dip it, I suppose. So I'm just going to get this, just dip it in there, get some on there, get it nice and thick. Look at that. That looks like some nice blood, that does. And just tip it a little bit. Actually, what I might do is I might just get a tray. So I've just got just a tray here. And I'll just literally just tip it out. on it. Roll it around in it. I've got a little bit on my finger, but that's okay. A bit in there. Just to really gunk it up. Add some around the back of the eye. Might just get my finger in there actually and just rub some of it on. Get it in there. Bit around my fingers around here, but that's good because that looks like it's sort of all gunked up around the eye as well. And there you have a pretty disgusting looking eye with an optic nerve hanging out the back. So that's pretty much it, guys. I could do some more airbrushing and stuff to this if I wanted to, but I think, to be honest, just mucking it up with some blood with my finger is fine. It gives a good enough effect. Looks like it's been ripped out and someone's been in a bit of discomfort. So there we go. That's how to make an eyeball on the cheap, really fast, with an optic nerve. And you can see the glue's really taken to them bits as well, which is nice. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. See you later, guys.